it was the last homestand, the last series of the Oakland A's season at the Oakland Coliseum. So we felt like we had to soak it all in and be there. I was there for the last three games versus Texas. George, you were for
I was there.
what the games?
Man, I went Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Nice.
I know that's crazy. That's unheard of.
Did it feel weird? Like, because I know that we both were boycotting the season, and I know ironically, I only went to four games, which is kind of ironic because the A's won four World Series titles in Oakland, so that kind of connected with me a couple of days ago. So that's kind of weird. How was that Yankee series like versus the Texas series?
I was expecting it to be like the typical Yankee bullshit that we always get, like with like fans, trying to antagonize us and all that. And but honestly, it was. I think it was mostly Ace fans, just because we understood that it was the last home series, the last homestand, and so I mean, it was a good crowd. Um,
Nice.
the way I felt though was. I was just kind of angry. Like I'm just kind of like what the fuck am I doing here? And luckily I had a friend that bought the tickets before all this went down, and he, uh, Dom,
Mm-hmm.
cool. He didn't get a chance to make it out here, but his spirit was here. No, he's not dead,
No,
but
he's still alive. He's still alive, people. Dom,
still alive, still
you're still
alive.
here.
But he had a family emergency and he couldn't make it. But if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have gone to any of the last games, just because I wasn't gonna buy tickets. He bought them, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll go. And so the whole time, probably angry. I was mostly angry just about the
Yeah,
whole situation.
it was weird because it was the Yankee series. I was thinking about going to at least one of them, but then a part of me was like, I would have been pissed off because a bunch of Yankee fans were trying, would probably try to troll us and everything. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to do all that. So I did the last three versus Texas. So a week passed by since the last, it was literally a week from today, last week, since the last A's game, the last Oakland A's game at the Oakland Coliseum. How are you feeling now versus last Thursday?
You know, and I wrote about this. Um, I feel a sense of like relief, like just kind of like there's an answer to this. They finally moved on. It was the last game here in Oakland, and now we get to focus on other things, right?
Yeah.
Meaning not other things as in like not keep fighting for the team, but like focus on like, okay, let's go. We got the roots now. We got the ballers. Let's put them up. Let's uplift them. We got soul.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a little bit of me feels relieved, because like now everyone, and I know we'll get to this a little bit later, but like yeah, everything's coming out now from everyone's kind of knowledge
Mm-hmm.
of the situation. We changed the narrative, and so I just feel kind of like laid back and looking at everyone just kind of screaming everything that I've been screaming for the last
Yeah,
20.
it's about time.
Yeah,
But, it was funny.
exactly.
Yeah, it was funny. I kind of had, well, we all had time to process everything, and I know that everyone's dealing with this whole thing in a different way, and they're however they do it. It was weird, like the first that Tuesday game versus Texas. I mean, I felt a different way every single game that series. The whole thing, I feel like, in a nutshell, was very bittersweet. The Tuesday game was more just like, okay, here we go. And then, I just kept seeing people who I haven't seen in years. And I think that was for me personally, that was the theme, was just, it was kind of like a family, like it was like a family reunion. It felt like a funeral with a baseball game in between.
Right.
Tailgates were just same old tailgates. It was just hard seeing people just crying, all the emotions and everything. It was hard seeing friends in tears. I was doing my best just to, stay strong for them and console them. But I think I was honestly pretty good for the most part, even now. I will say this. It was on Thursday. I know a lot of us either took the day off or took the week off or left work early, but I thought that I was gonna get to the Coliseum and just be all just like depressed or be sad or be down. But ironically, I had that feeling, that same feeling when I go to every A's game, like that excitement, like going through the gates. I'm like, oh, we're at the tailgate. Oh, this is gonna be so cool. I'm gonna see all my friends. But in the back of my head, I knew that that was the last game at the Coliseum. That could have got me down, and but it really didn't. Honestly, it was if it wasn't for like the workers, the employees there, I saw my old boss. I saw people I haven't seen in literally over 10, 15 years
Yeah.
just popping up. Like people flew in from Canada, Japan, and you pretty much like New York or you name the state in America. But if it wasn't for them getting all emotional, I wouldn't have gotten emotional. I think the only time I got a little emotional was when I was leaving the gate and I kind of looked back and I can see the field, like the baseball diamond, and I cat like one little slow tear was rolling down, and I was like, "Nah, we're good." And then it just dried up out of nowhere, and I was like, "All right, you know." And I went back to my friends, and I think that's what really got me through with everything, man. It was just the friends that we've all made, all the connections, all the community was great. The tailgates were fire. Like all three. Oh my god, it was man. It was it reminded me of old times. It reminded me like, I mean, if you were there on Thursday, you can kind of sense that sadness, but at the same time, it's like, why is everyone having so much fun at like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? But that's what we do. So I think that's probably one of my highlights from the series. I'm not sure if you have any highlights that you'd like to share.
I mean, and the tailgating, I saw someone posted about how how amazing uh Thursday is and how it's going, and you wouldn't even think that they were moving. And I just remember like I was like, but I think I quote tweeted that and I was like, we've done this before. Like this is nothing new. Like we've held all these, like you said, we've like these tailgates have been here. We've been doing all these. Um, it reminded me of 2012 with the last game of the year where like I mean my sister asked me why do I look like I'm celebrating? And I had a couple people who telling
Yeah.
me that. And honestly, my answers was always because we don't have to deal with John Fisher anymore.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it was for some reason it just kind of felt like some sort of relief of like just like all these years we didn't know the A's were staying or moving, the A's were staying or moving, right? And like I've told people that even, when when the A's were in the playoffs, you know, I wouldn't care about those. I mean, obviously I care about about winning those games.
Yeah.
My World Series has always been keeping the A's in Oakland. And and so yeah, the highlights was definitely the tailgate, seeing the people that were there. Um, yeah, I love the smoke bombs. I don't know who did that.
Oh, I
Um,
no clue.
um, I just I just wish we would have fought a little bit harder, honestly. But I'm still proud about the the way everyone kind of united for this. Still kind of united. But I think yeah, the tailgating is probably the best highlight that I can
Yeah.
even about that game and about that whole week. Um, it's just it's amazing. I think I would have probably felt different if we didn't have the ballers. They weren't going to play next
Oh,
year.
yeah.
I think I would have felt different if the Roots were still not going to be playing in Oakland and they were still going to be playing in Hayward. But the fact that I knew that, that they're playing at the Coliseum, which is kind of my sanctuary, which is kind of my safe space, that's gonna allow me to be there a lot of times next year too, and hopefully for the future too. So, and the same thing with Raimondi Park. We've kind of adopted that home, and that place is pretty amazing in itself. And I think that like I said, I think I would have probably felt different. I probably would have been more emotional, but I'm glad that they're around because, like I said, like it probably would have but I probably would have been crying you know.
Yeah, off top, like for sure. Yeah, and it's funny that I mean, you're right. I agree with you 1,000% of the having the ballers, the roots, the soul, knowing that they're gonna be here. That helps transition into our next phase or next chapter of our fanhood, or what if you want to call it that.